This course is Analytics and Insights. Now, analytics refers to Google Analytics, Insights is Facebook and Instagram. Today, we're going to focus on Google Analytics. So Google Analytics overview. What is Google Analytics? Google Analytics is an underutilized free tool from Google. It helps you, it gives you a fantastic insight into who is visiting your website, how they're behaving. With Google Analytics, there are now two versions. So the original version is called the Universal version. There's a new version that was launched last October that is called Google Analytics 4. Some of you might have received a notification from Google about this, about setting it up. I think if you're a beginner or new to Google Analytics, then the Universal application is the one to go with. The Google Analytics 4 is if you're running a website and an app, say, it gives you cross-platform data and customized reports. But for our purposes and for this course, we're going to look at the Universal platform. So why do we use Google Analytics? Well, if you don't have Google Analytics installed on your website, it's a little like driving your car in the pouring rain without windscreen wipers on. You can't see where you're going. So if Google Analytics allows you to get a snapshot of how your business is performing. It allows you, if you're engaged in any form of marketing activity at all, you need it by using Google Analytics in conjunction with that marketing activity. It allows you to really analyze how your marketing is traveling, make adjustments, and therefore, saving you time and money. This is the Google demo account. If you want to have a play around with it, you can certainly do that. If you navigate to, if you just Google Google Analytics demo account, then you can log in as long as you already have a Google account set up. So when you arrive at the homepage, it gives you a snapshot of what's going on right at this moment in time over the last 7 days. You can obviously change that to look at the last 90 days. We can tell from this that they've got, in the last 90 days, they've had an enormous amount of users. It's also giving revenue data here. Now that's because they've got their analytics set up and integrated with an e-commerce platform. Ask your web developer to also enable the e-commerce part of Google Analytics, and then you can start generating this snapshot of your e-commerce as well. And what I'll do for the next analytics session, we can delve a little deeper into that and have a look at that. But for today, we're just going to look at an overview, and we're going to look at two of the most useful reports. And over here, Google gives you some insights. They look at data and give you some really helpful, sometimes really helpful insights into how your website and indeed your business is traveling. So how do we acquire users? This is giving a snapshot of your user acquisition. So how did people come to your website? This is by region. When do users visit your website? Now that might be useful if you're posting, say, a blog post and you want to look at when is your website the busiest, and you might want to post it then. It just gives you extra information for when you're launching campaigns. And we've got showing you your most popular pages. You can delve really deeply into this in the behavior section, but for now we'll just keep going with the overview. I'll go through 3 of the reports today. So real time. So this gives you a snapshot of what is happening on your website right now. This is useful if you've got time-sensitive marketing campaigns. You might just want to check what's going on. It shows you websites referring traffic to your website, top active pages, top location. Reports that I use the most are audience and acquisition. So audience really gives us a feel for our user behavior. How are people engaging with the website? Who is engaging? And what are they doing on the website? You can select a date. Maybe I ran a campaign in December, and I just want to see, did that have an impact on my users? How many people were visiting the website? Equally, if I wanted to, I could compare that to another period. So if I had been engaged in a lot of extra marketing activity this year, I might want to look at the previous year and see how that impacted on the business. So I'll go through these metrics here just to give you, some of them are self-explanatory, some of them need a little interpretation. So we've got users. So that is the total number of people that visited your website in this given period up here. So for the month of December. New users, so out of that total, these are the total number of new users visiting the website. Sessions, total number of website visits. So a user might have visited multiple times, and that metric is calculated there. Number of sessions per user, again, if someone was a repeat visitor, that would be included. Page views, self-explanatory. Pages per session. So how many pages on average, did a visitor navigate to? Now these 3 metrics are to do with user engagement, and they're really important. So if I've got a website and I've only got, if it's telling me I've got, say, 1.5 pages per session, that flags to me that my content is not engaging. People are not excited about my content. They're not staying on the website long enough. So I would interpret that I need to actually do a content audit, look at my website. How can I improve my content? How can I improve that user experience so that it becomes more sticky, that people are going to take the journey on my website to, make a booking or make an inquiry. Another user engagement metric is the average session duration. So again, if that's really low, that's a sign that that we need to do something about content. Bounce rate. What a bounce is when someone visits your website and they don't engage with it. So they come onto the website, they just are on that one page. It's not to their liking, so they jump off. So every industry has a benchmark for their bounce rate, and it also depends what marketing campaigns you're running as well. So, the question is, what is a good bounce rate? I like to see it under 40. So this is almost 50% of the visitors who came to this website didn't engage and they left. You might be running, if you're running, say, an ad campaign with Facebook advertising or Google ads, this could come a little higher as well. You expect a higher bounce rate, but we can also break down the bounce rate per channel. So, how that person came to your website. It might be through organic search, it might be through an ad, and we can look at that a little deeper when we get to the next report. The demographic information. So when you're tailoring your content, it's always great to know, who are we making content for? So this gives you information on just basic demographics. So it is, male versus female and age, and that's really useful with your content generation. Now, interests. Google very cleverly gives you information on what interests visitors have, those coming to your website. It's not 100% of visitors, but these are just some. You can see it's 40% here. They'll give you around 40%, excuse me, of data on visitors to your website. Again, this helps me develop content that and tailor your website content to what these people might be interested in. Then we've got the acquisition report. So this is how do people find me? So there are various ways that people can find a website. And so we've got, I'll just run through these. So we've got direct. So that's when someone is already familiar with your URL, your website address, and that's typed directly into the browser. So that is direct. Now, for example, if you're running an offline ad campaign, and you've taken out an ad in a magazine, that might increase. You might see an increase of direct direct hits on your website. So that can be a useful metric there. Paid search is another way people can find the website. Other is just Google's unable to match how people got there. Affiliates, that's to do with affiliate advertising. Display, to do with display advertising. For us, we're really interested in these three. So referral traffic. This is useful. You can see what other websites are driving traffic to your website. So, and why is that useful? That's useful when you might be partnering with, let's say, a travel blog, and you've invested in an ad campaign and on this blog, and then it gives it, for them, they have a call to action to whatever the offer is. To redeem that, they've got to go back to your website. So here we can measure the traffic coming to your website, and then indeed how they behave. Do they convert into a sale or an inquiry? So that's really useful. Organic search. So if you're invested in any form of search engine optimization, you'll be obsessively looking at organic search. So what, when you're doing your SEO, we're always looking at how have we increased our organic search. So that's such a useful metric. And then social, again, that's looking at your social media marketing, and is that driving traffic to your website, and indeed is that traffic engaged? So that gives you the sort of immediate snapshot summary, and then we can delve into it a little deeper down here. So I'll go to the organic search. So we can tell for the month of December, we got 351 visitors that found us. So they either typed in our brand name or a keyword that has been optimized. And here, the behavior, that we had a 29% bounce rate, which would be fantastic. If your organic search bounce rate is under 30, that you're doing very well. And we can see again the page sessions and how long they spent on the website. And then conversions. I'll go through, and I'm going to show you how to set up conversions, but we'll do that in our next analytics session. And this is really useful metric. Campaign, so down here, campaigns. If you've got a Google Ads campaign running, all your info, you connect that to your Google Ads account, and you get a lot of rich data in there. So that is the overview of where we are, of the interface. And so I think it would be useful for your actions for when we meet, if we meet up the next in the next fortnight, is just if you're not set up already, ask your web developers to set you up, or double check that your Google Analytics account is working. For those of you who don't have an account, you'll need to set up a Gmail account for your web developer, and then just double check that your account is working for those of you who do have Google Analytics set up, and then dive in and have a look at your Google Analytics account and identify any insights. Can you see any issues that might be arising? You know, if you've got, especially in one of the channels, you know, if you've got a high bounce rate, have a look at that. What could that be? If you've got low engagement, you just have a look and see how that goes. So, thank you very much for, this is the end of the teach section, and I will see you in a fortnight's time. And now we will move on to the Q&A.